talked about Cameroon colonialism and occupation of Ambazonia. During the period between 1954 and 1961, when Ambazonia left the eastern region, they developed, they did their best to develop institutions for the Ambazonian people. Between 1961 and 2022, everything we have as a people has been imposed upon us by Cameroon. We don't have anything of our own. So this is the first time in the history of our people, in our quest to re-establish our state, that laws, principles, a value system that defines who we are, what we are aspiring for, what we want, what we deserve, has been created to give us, to practicalize the statement, independence, independence. How can you have independence without rights? And if those rights are not defined, then the concept of independence is just very abstractive. What the egg is doing is to take this abstractive notion called freedom or independence and chunk it down into things that are tangible, meaningful, measurable, that the people can taste, they can touch, they can feel, they can live with. And this is what the
Oh,
AGOC
yeah.
is doing. This is the vision of Dr. Ayaba, to give our people practically what freedom means. In practical terms, what is freedom in practical terms? It's the ability to have certain well-defined, crafted rights. And so the Charter on Women and Children's Rights, it's one of the most fundamental policy. For me, this is a game changer for the Ambazonian liberation. In terms of
Oh, yes.
independence means independence for the Ambazonian people. The rights of children, the rights of women, this is the starting point of Ambazonia having an actual state, a sovereignty in real practical terms. This is what this is about. Secondly, the code of conduct. Between 2016 and 2022, there has been, based on the policy on how to fight the enemy, obviously the population has experienced a level of chaos more than ever anything they've ever thought of before. But now we are moving to a stage where we want to ensure the population that with the defeat of Cameroon, there can be stability, there can be accountability, there can be responsibility in the conduct of those that carry guns, in their behaviors, in their actions. You can do whatever you want. There is a certain station. There is a certain standard that has been set for the forces. And this is what this is about. It's about having a set of principles and values that give forces a code of conduct and a standard on their behavior, their actions, and their operations. In that way, you eliminate abuses. In that way, the population feels safer. In that way, there is order on the ground. In that way, there is discipline. In that way, there is structure in how these forces conduct themselves and how they function domestically and within the international system. So this is what leadership is about, and I really applaud the efforts of Dr. Choluka Sayaba. I applaud the efforts of the Vice President of the Governing Council of Ambazonia and all those that have worked so hard to put these guiding principles in line with the Geneva Convention. What you want to tell people and say, now the most important document this for the history of the Ambazonian people there, for the history of our people them, for Canada here, what to make Canada one of the best country. In fact, for the last maybe 10 years, they don't always name Canada as one of the top number one. Where to make Canada an example for the whole world. Now this thing that they call and say the Canadian Charter of Rights. They call it Canadian Charter of Rights. Now it make Canada be what it be today because of the freedom, and any person know a right. A policeman know his own right and his own responsibility. A citizen know his own right and his own responsibility. The prime minister know his own right, his own responsibility, and the limit of his power. Any man, be very clear for all man. So confusion not there for the society because all man, they know their rights. Now the same thing, the governing council, they create them, forgive the Ambazonian people them. Because without human rights, life not mean anything for any person. Any person fit take away your life, any person fit do anything. But now human rights, it make a society, make the society, it be where people they go get real life. If you not get rights, you not fit talk, you not fit go school, people they not fit gather together for even discuss idea or pray for God. Or for even get a conscience of which they get for believe in. Like now we Ambazonia, you see, we get a conscience, say we believe, say we need self-determination. Now I write that. For this charter, they don't give Ambazonian picking them. They talk say we're picking them. Now the most important thing for our society. When I listen very carefully, an Ambazonian picking, now the most important thing for our society. The future of Ambazonia, it be dependent on how we raise our picking them, how we bring them up, how we treat them, the quality of education we give them for them. Now we're picking them, they be our future. So we're picking them for our society. Secondly, this document talks say woman them now also the most important thing for our society. So woman and picking them, they get very special protection. They get very special protection. And they must treat them differently. With care. We must treat one picking them, one sisters and one mommy them with care. You know, if you just treat women anyhow. Because they be people that will be very vulnerable for society. Because of the way God created them. They need special care, they need special protection. So it means say, for when soldier, they did for some, they operate for some community, that soldier they not go near school as DDC don't talk. They not go near school. Even if fight day, even if problem day, the soldier they not enter for quarter, they touch picking them or they touch woman. Or just go arrest woman them anyhow. Even if soldier they want arrest woman, they must do and so with care. Anything we involve picking them, they must do and so with care. We must move away from anything like the Republic of Cameroon and start to establish the Ambazonia, where it reflects what people they fight for and the kind of country will be very different from any other African country. This Charter on Women's and Children's Rights, now the most important document where it don't delay the foundation of the future of Ambazonia. Secondly, on the Code of Conduct, this document now for bring discipline on the ground. This document now for bring the forces them, make the start for behave a certain way as forces. They no be like thief people them, they no be like armed robbers, they no feel say because they carry gun, they no become God. The code, the charter, the Code of Conduct, that document now for regulate the behaviors, the action of forces. Now for bring stability within a war of liberation. So that makes soldiers they know say, even though they carry gun, their power get limit. For that this thing, what it mean I say we go get a telephone number. We will get a telephone number. With that telephone number, all women them, all community, they will get that phone number. Anything will happen for community where women and picking them, they don't be affected. When I go call that telephone number immediately, when I report them. If we be where we go send them out for all communities then. Anything where it affect women and picking them, when I call immediately, when I report them. So that the soldier they will dey for that place, immediately we will know how to follow up immediately and for make sure say we woman them, we mommy them, we picking them, we sister them, they be treated for their way. Now the future this, we will build them. The future we will talk so there's not been a tomorrow. It already start now. Now the independence, this way the governing council they put them into practice for now. For the country where Cameroon can't take them for our people them. Where people never get right. Picking they not get right. Woman they not get right. Policeman fit come for any place, he move woman, he beat him, kiki anyhow, just because he be policeman. I'm a man. If he come for your house, he just can't arrest you anyhow, just because he be policeman. B if he take gun, enter for house as we don't see him, shoot small pikin for head, go and no man need to talk no nothing for it. Even the president of that country need to talk no nothing. The minister of defense no nothing. Because what people not get right. Now, we want give our people them rights. And that rights, they be more important. The right of our mommy, we are picking them for this charter. They be more important past the gun wey soldier carry am. Because the soldier they carry that gun now for protect those rights.